As usual at the end of the year, Game of the Year opinions start to crop up online. Yes, I'm doing a Game of the Year top 5 list, and I already know people are going to hate on it, but it's my personal list of games I really enjoyed this year. My list is a lot different from what many other people will probably put on theirs. It consists of a few indie games and a few big titles. Let me know what your list is in the comments. And I'm not really ranking the top 4, but I know what my Game of the Year is. So, in no particular order for these first 4, let's jump into it. First off is Helldivers 2. It's such an insane and fun co-op experience. Having a game where you can just jump in even after a year, okay, less than a year, but after a good amount of time, and not feel lost or left behind, makes it such an enjoyable time. And with friendly fire being expected and nobody getting pissed about it, it's refreshing. When I do play it, I always have a really enjoyable time with it. Next up is Slay the Princess. It's an indie visual novel title where your decisions change the world for the worse or the better, and it gets weirder and weirder as you go through 3 different multiverse-style resets. While the game is really simple, I loved how interesting the story was and how it all changed each time. Then we've got Space Marine 2. The game on the highest difficulty was frustrating the hell out of me, but I was still really enjoying my time with it. I think it has a really good story and mechanically it feels really good to play. I never touched the multiplayer aspect of it, but I did really like the story. For the final game in my top 4 before Game of the Year, I think that Still Wakes the Deep was a fantastic horror game, and I'm usually not into atmospheric horror. I just think it did a really good job with keeping the monster shrouded from sight and with its setting and narrative, being able to keep its suspense high and have you on edge the whole time. It's probably one of the best horror games I've played in a while, but I'm also not a big horror game guy. So now we come to my Game of the Year. And I'm going with the indie shooter that I enjoyed the hell out of, and that's I Am Your Beast. It's a time trial type shooter where you're trying to complete an objective as quickly and efficiently as possible to get the highest grade you can. The game is all about flowing through the levels and is just this really kind of intense, fun, arcadey shooter. And while I haven't touched the expansion to the story that they have released with 11 new chapters, or even completed all of the challenge levels, I still think it's a fantastic game, and I will probably go back and play it here soon to complete all those chapters. And those are kind of the top 5 games that I enjoyed playing this year. I know I didn't put Elden Ring on there like other people have, or Astrobot, because I didn't play those games. Astrobot, I don't have a PS5, and Elden Ring, I've never been a huge fan of. The same with Black Myth Wukong. Just Souls-likes have never really, they've never done it for me. And while I will try them, I won't say that, they ever really make it into my top 5. There are other games that I enjoyed, like Banishers and Black Ops 6, but they just didn't make the cut. There's also games like Crab Champions and Hades 2 that I played this year, right when they released into early access. But since they're early access titles, I'm not counting them for this year. But when they do fully release in the next year or so, I'll probably make another video on them, and they might make the cut. Who knows? Because I don't know what next year's going to hold. And I think this year I really enjoyed indie games a lot more than I did AAA titles. Currently, I'm playing Animal Well, and I'm going to be putting out a video on that next week. And it's a really enjoyable game, and a lot of the indie games and indie demos that I played this year, I've really been enjoying, and I'm curious to see what will actually be released next year. I'm looking forward to Monster Hunter Wilds and possibly Avowed from the AAA sector, but I'm also curious what new interesting indies will be released to kind of check out within the next coming year. But until those come out, I'm just going to do my own thing and do what I feel like for videos, and I hope you guys have a royal day or night. And don't forget to do all that algorithm stuff, like, sub, all that crap. And I'll talk to you later.